Alright guys, I got this 22 Birdshot here I'm going to test out today. Get the CCI Shotshell. These are both number 12 shot. CCI advertises 31 grains of shot, 1,000 feet per second. The Federal is saying 25 grains, and I looked it up and it's also supposed to be 1,000 feet a second. You see the Federal has this just metal tip that's crimped. The CCI has these little plastic cups here. So I'm going to see how they group here at 7 yards first. I'm going to shoot some pop cans that are empty, see if it goes through both sides. Shoot some pop cans filled with water. Hit these apples with them, see what they do to the apples, kind of penetration I get. Got this board here. I'm going to shoot one on each side to see what it does to the board. And I got some water filled pop bottles that I should be able to collect some of the BBs from each to compare. And we got the GoPros out, hoping I can get a slow motion clip or two. The idea behind these is that, well, it gives you a spread shot, but it's very low penetration, so you don't have to worry about ricochets really very far. It's a lot of people use them for shooting, like, say, mice or rats in a barn. It's just enough power to kill them if they're close enough, but it's not going to shoot a hole through your barn like a standard 22 round would. These are also great for shooting bugs, like if you have carpenter bees or wood bees or whatever, or really any kind of bug that's an annoyance that you want to get rid of. These should do the job. Alright, I'm just going to use my 1022. Don't think they're going to cycle the action, but just manually cycle it. Alright, so I'm just going to hit these shoot and see targets first to see what kind of groups we get at 7 yards and see where I need to hold before I hit any of the other targets. Alright, so I'll do the Federal on the left and then the CCI on the right. Well, that didn't eject. It's stuck in the chamber. Alright, so not sure why it didn't eject. You know, maybe you're only supposed to use these through bolt action or something. Did not have enough power to cycle the action and load the next round, but not only that, but it did not grab this and even begin to pull it out of the chamber. So let's see if the CCIs do the same. That could be a firearm malfunction or the shell. We'll see what the CCI does. Don't know if you can tell from the video, but those were actually pretty quiet. Like, I want to say the Federal was louder. It sounded like a subsonic round, and the CCI was a little bit quieter than that. The CCIs almost sounded like a CCI quiet. Check out our groups. Wow, okay, that's just a little bit ridiculous. Here's the target. I don't know if you can see, there's itty bitty holes everywhere. And even hit the can with both. Same results with both. Itty bitty little holes everywhere. And again, holes in the can. So that is a huge spread from 7 yards. Let's see if it went out the back side here. Yep, okay, so we got penetration out the back of the cardboard, and I doubt anything stuck in this wood. Well, maybe a few. It does look like, yeah. Alright, that spread was crazy from 7 yards. It's like a 3 or 4 foot circle. So I'm going to move up basically right in front of it. I'm going to sit right here like oh, about 8 feet away and give them a shot from here. See what kind of group we get from there. It's like literally point blank range. Alright, so like I said, I'm like literally 8 feet away now. So I'm going to do reverse order this time. I'm going to shoot CCI on the CCI target on the right first. And then I'm going to do the Federal last on the left target. That's better. Okay. So again, neither of these rounds function the action. They don't have enough recoil. I was able to eject the CCI. We'll try the Federal again. And again, the Federal does not eject. So apparently the Federals either don't like the 1022. I'm just going to say that, well, either of these you should be using in a bolt action because they don't have enough power to cycle the action in a semi-auto. But especially the Federal because, well, it's sticking. I'm going to have to pry it out on every single shot, whereas the CCI I don't have to do that. Okay, and again, I don't know if you could tell from the video, but it sounded like the Federal was louder again than the CCI. Okay, so there's our much improved group with the CCI. Again, I was only about 8 feet back, which seems like about the effective range if you really wanted to do anything on whatever you're trying to shoot. The Federal. So, let's hit some of these next. Okay, for the rest of this video, I'll just be standing back there about 8 feet back. So let's hit these cans. Again, everything on the left will be the Federal. Everything on the right will be the CCI. Yeah, that Federal is definitely louder, like, and not just a little bit, it's considerably louder. Don't know why it's louder because they're both the same advertised velocity. So alright, so these have water in them now. Let's see if I can get slow-mo captured on the S9 here. If not, I'll try to set a GoPro up over here and then we'll edit it. So CCI first and then Federal. Wow, okay, that was actually pretty sweet. I just watched the slow-mo footage from that. So it did not do anything in the means of even remotely trying to knock that thing over. Alright, so up next we'll do the Federal. Alright, so it did penetrate. There's the front. And there's the back. Doesn't sound like there's any in it. So they went through, it just didn't put any energy into it at all. Okay, so there's the Federal. Sounds like there's one in there. Seems like the Federal puts a few more on target. They're definitely louder though. The CCI don't hurt my ears at all. The Federal actually makes my ears ring. They're considerably louder. Alright, let's hit these apples now, and I'll tell you what, we'll shoot them once in regular, and then I'll try to get them in slow-mo. Okay, CCI. Not sure what's what there. I want to say those look like entry because they're indented. And then the exit holes are just going to be microscopic. Alright, here's with the These are all the entry holes, and you can actually see some under the skin there. Exit, 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 and just under the skin. Alright, let's try this for dramatic effect. I'm going to get real close for slow-mo. Hopefully pick up something good. Yummy. Alright, so that was the CCI. So we'll do the Federal next. I'll cut these open when I'm done to see what it looks like in there. That was like, I don't know, maybe 2 feet from behind the apple that I shot that. I'll do the same with the Federal. There you go. And I lied. I was about 3 or 4 feet behind on both. So we'll cut these open at the end of the video. Now I'm going to hit the wood and the pop bottle to see if I can collect some of the BBs. Alright, I'm going to shoot the wood with the CCI, C is for C, F on the backside for the Federal. We'll do this in slow-mo too, just for the heck of it. Maybe it'll look cool, I don't know, because it's not going to be much to look at in regular speed anyways. Just want to see if one penetrates more than the other. They're probably going to be about the same. So, you know what, I'll do this from about 4 or 5 feet back. Just a hair farther back than I did with the apples. This is CCI. I actually penetrated a little farther than I expected. Like I figured they'd just be all sticking there, but actually went into the wood some. Try the Federal now. There's with your Federal. See, it groups tighter in the center mass, for sure, than the CCI. Again, that was about 4 or 5 feet back. The CCI looked like they penetrated a little more. There's not quite as many that you can see on the surface. Like you can see several there on the surface on the Federal. CCI, they're a little deeper. So you got one better penetration but worse pattern, and one's a better pattern but not quite as much penetration. Alright, so now I'm just going to hit these. They're filled with water real quick. See if I can gather a few BBs from each. Of course we'll do this in slow-mo too. See if I can get the BBs and show you, and then we'll cut the apples open. I'm just going to step back to our 8-foot mark where we get a good group back there. You know what? No, I changed my mind. We'll stay up close 4 or 5 feet. It'll look better on slow-mo. So again, CCI first, followed by Federal. So there's a CCI. There are at least a few in there. Pull them out in a second after we do the Federal and compare. Federal. Man, I don't know if we got any. Yeah, there's some in there. Alright, so. Alright, CCI. So there's the CCI. And there's the Federal. Alright. So this is CCI apple. It's kind of hard to There we go. See some BBs there. Well, if I can hold it in the right spot. 1, 2, 3. So that's a CCI apple split in half. And again, those were shot close range at the end, about 3 or 4 feet back. And there's a Federal. See a few BBs there too. Maybe I should use it on them. Get rid of my small pests. Okay, so in the end, CCI ejected every single time. It was also quieter than the Federal. Every single Federal stuck, and I had to use my rod to get it out. And maybe it won't stick in some guns, but I'm betting that you're going to have a lot of issues. So basically, ideally, I think the Federal is best suited for like a 22 revolver or something. And I don't know, even then it might get stuck in the cylinder. Who knows? But for me in the 1022, now obviously you should be using this stuff in a bolt action because it won't cycle the action. But my 1022 just didn't want to eject the Federal. I don't know, maybe that's just my gun, but something tells me there's probably going to be a few more guns out there that have issues, maybe even bolt guns. So that is the issue with more than just the 1022, then those are probably best suited for a revolver, although they could still potentially stick in a revolver cylinder. So they both do basically the same thing. It seems like the Federal groups tighter center mass. Now it might not have a smaller group overall, but it seems to put more center mass at close range than the CCI. However, like I said, you might have issues with them sticking, not wanting to be able to eject regardless of what you use them in, or you might be fine. One thing I like about the CCI better, aside from the fact that I could get it out every time, was that it was definitely quieter. So, but I think you get 50 with the Federal, and I think you get 25 with the CCI. So the Federals are probably cheaper. I don't know because I can't remember what I paid for them. So if you liked the video, please leave me a thumbs up. Feel free to comment, subscribe if you're not. Thanks. And then if any of you guys have personal experience with this stuff, leave me a comment below. Tell me what you use it for and what it's good for.